I want to show you the brand new tool that we are providing with BetAngel. We've already produced a specialist tool for football, Soccer Mystic, and we have now produced one for tennis, which is going to be called Tennis Trader. As the name suggests, it's designed to enable you to trade more effectively at tennis, and I'm going to give you a quick example of how it works. We're looking at a match that's going to take place this afternoon at the French Open between Granollers and Baghdatis, and you can see we've got the market set up in front of us. Incidentally, I've modified the one-click screen here to enable you, or to enable myself, to trade it more effectively. I've removed items that I don't need. If you want to learn how to do this, then please watch the respective video. Top right hand corner here we have a tennis ball, and if I click on that, this will introduce Tennis Trader to you. Let me bring this down. So you can see here we've got a variety of information in front of us. Let me explain what each part of this means. First of all, you need to select the market type that you're looking to examine. Here you can see we can select the market odds for winning a match or just winning the set. On this occasion I've got it set for winning a match. If I click on calibrate when we first arrive in a market, this market has yet to start, it's not in play yet. If I click on calibrate, it will automatically synchronize to this market. So you can see here it's synchronizing at the current market prices or thereabouts. And when you click on synchronize, or sorry, calibrate, what it's doing is going to the market and gathering information about the market and then coming up with a variety of initial predictions for you. So you can see here that because the predicted odds for Baghdatis is 148, the market's saying there's a 67 or thereabout chance of him winning the match. But an interesting thing is that what Tennis Trader can also tell you is that there's a 59% of him, a chance of him winning a set, or nearly 60% chance of him winning a set, versus a 40% chance of his opponent winning a set. You can also see if Granollers serves first, he's got an 80% chance of winning a service game, and Baghdatis has a 20% chance, or near on 20% chance, of breaking his serve. So let's switch the server to Baghdatis and see how that goes in the other direction. 85% chance of Baghdatis winning a serve, and just under a 15% chance of Granollers breaking his serve. So you can see there's some interesting information immediately available to you from there. But things get even more interesting from here on in. You need to select the market type odds and whether it's a match or a set, but you also need to select what type of match it is. You can have a 5-set match where there's no tiebreak in the final set, or you can have a 5-set match where a tiebreak is allowed in the final set. Also, if you're looking at women's tennis in a Grand Slam, that will be a 3-set match. So you can see you've got 4 different variations of the type of match that you can choose. So it's critically important that you make sure you choose the correct match type, make sure you understand what market odd types you're trying to predict, and that you have the score correct. Because this match isn't underway yet, obviously the score is love all across every element of the match, so not really a problem. At the top left hand corner rather, you can reset the score here, access to the trade calculator, access to BetAngel, and to Guardian, because in Guardian you can populate the market with as many tennis matches as you wish, and you don't have to worry about the taking up extra data usage charges or anything. You can flick between markets at will. Where Tennis Trader comes into its own is its ability to predict. So you can see underneath here we've got a load of different options, and in fact these options extend even further and further and further down. It's up to you how many you want to display at any one time. But what Tennis Trader does is it takes your initial market odds, how many games you've got available immediately in front of you, and then can predict the likelihood of something happening. So we can see on this particular match the chance of Granollers winning the next point, and we can also see how that affects the score. So if Baghdatis serves first, you can see we've got the server button here. So if Baghdatis serves first, but Granollers goes on to win the first point, you can see his odds will contract slightly, and Baghdatis's odds will go out slightly as well. So they will drift from 148 to 151. If Bagdatis wins the first point on his serve in the first game, then you can see that his odds will contract slightly, and Granola's odds will go out slightly. And you can see we've replicated this all the way down. Next 2 points, next game, and next set, and finally at the bottom here we also have custom scores. So if you want to understand what's going on within the match and what could happen within the match, then you've got the ability to modify or immediately look ahead in many of those different situations. What we've also done here is you have a little checkbox. So if I click on the checkbox next to Bagdatis wins game and also Granola's wins game, I can shrink and pull this up, and that allows me to see what would happen in either of these circumstances. So say that Bagdatis was serving first and then he goes on to win the game. You can see here the odds would contract slightly to 144. However, if Granola's breaks Bagdatis' serve on the first game, then you can see that we would end up at a price of 172. Now if the coin is tossed and Granola's serves first, you can see how that would affect things as well. So if Granola's does successfully serve out his first service game, of which we know he has an 80% chance of doing so, then the odds on Bagdatis would drift to 152. So in simplistic terms, you can see the way that it models information. And this is all before the off. In play, which will be shown in a separate video, you can monitor and update what the next set of odds will be given a certain set of circumstances in play. But there's no harm that in modelling all of these items before the match has even started anyway. So, what will the score be if Bagdatis is 2 sets to love up in this match? 107. So if you think Bagdatis has a chance of doing that, then obviously there's a fair amount of movement from 148 to 107. If he was 1 set up, it would be 122. But if Granola's was 1 set up, then you can see that would change to 189. So you can fiddle around, play at will, and you could even do things like saying, well, okay, if it's 4-all in the first set, Granola's is serving, what would happen if Bagdatis breaks him at that point? And you can see the price would jump from 1.5 to 126. So obviously fairly significant. And what would happen if it was 1 set all and that situation occurred? You can see how the odds would change from 159 down to 124. So there are many different ways that you can mess around, fiddle with scores, and get an understanding of what could happen in the match and when and why. But you can also do it in play, and that will be something that we will cover in a separate video.